Hi guys, it's Shelby. I'm going to be talking a little bit about exams and how to prepare for them. Everybody has exams coming up at the moment, whether it's your GCSEs, your A-levels, or whether you're at university like me. Sometimes you will have exams. I actually didn't have any last year, so I can't enjoy my year off. But this year I do have a couple coming up. So I'm going to be talking mainly about A-levels in this video, but all of these things are transferable to any exams you might be taking. But yeah, I'm just going to be talking about how to get through your A-levels. I got through my A-levels by being both prepared and well practiced. So of course preparation is all well and good for revision and knowing your knowledge, but exams don't only test your knowledge, they also test your ability to take an exam. This is why mock exams are so important, because you get that practice and you learn what it is like to take an exam, and you learn how to answer the certain questions, that it makes it easier when you do your proper exam. Personally, I think taking mock exams or testing yourself by questions you found from past papers online are a brilliant way to get ready for an exam, and then the prospect of an exam isn't so daunting in itself because you know how the exam's going to work, and then all you have to worry about is remembering all the knowledge, which yes, I know is still quite a lot, but if you've done the revision then you should be alright. Of course, before you start taking mock exams, it is very important to get the content and the knowledge down first. So things like revision cards, mind maps, whatever works for you, they're important before you start practicing the questions. Well, I'm going to compare them to GCSEs because if you're doing your A-levels, you've probably already done your GCSEs. So if you think about taking your GCSEs, you have to know a little about a lot. You're doing a lot of subjects, but you're not as in depth as when you go to A-levels, and you're learning a lot about a little. You're narrowing the subjects down, and yes, there are less exams, but you have to know more in depth for what you're going to answer in those exams. It's also important to mention that just because you are good at a subject at GCSE does not mean it's going to directly translate to being good at A-level, because from personal experience, I was very good at GCSE biology. It was by far my best subject at school, and it was one of the two subjects that I did get an A at GCSE, but then doing it at A-level, it was just completely different. The way you have to know everything so much more in depth really threw me off, and I ended up coming out with an E in biology. I think it's really important to, yes, plan for revision, but also plan for some free time too. If you try and dedicate the whole of the Easter holiday to revision, the revision you do will end up being of a lower quality than if you were spending a few hours a day revising and then making sure you were having some fun as well. Because if you just dedicate the whole day to it, you're going to get so bored and you're going to get distracted, end up going on your phone, and what you do just won't be as good as if you were just focused for those few hours. Personally, when I was doing my A-levels, I didn't focus the same amount of time on each subject. So if I was going to order like how I spent my time, I spent the most amount of time revising dance because I knew it was my best shot at a good grade. Personally, I was hoping for an A. That didn't happen. I ended up being just a couple of marks off. But I did spend my most time revising dance because that was what not only I liked the most, but what I had the most hope for. Then I spent the second amount of time revising biology because I was really struggling with it so hard that I needed to spend that time on it to try and pass. I had to dedicate a lot of time to it just to understand things to at least the most basic level, because I found it very confusing and it wasn't the best subject for me. And I spent the least amount of time revising psychology because I didn't find it as tricky as I did biology, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did dance, and it didn't need the most work. It kind of fell to the bottom for me, but it still came in the middle when it comes to ordering what grades I got. So those are some of my tips and personal experiences from when I did my A-levels. I hope you found them at least a little bit helpful, and good luck in your future exams. Bye. Sasha, did you not find any of my tips at least a little bit interesting? You just slept the whole... No? Okay.